One series that has not only stood the test of time but is able to dominate in such a competitive industry is none other than One Piece, written by the legendary Eiichiro Oda about a pirate with a rubber body and his quest to becoming the king of pirates. It is a concept you could find in your typical shonen, and yet thanks to Oda's brilliant writing, the story is unique, and despite being ongoing for more than 2 decades at this point, it is still able to touch the hearts of readers and watchers of the anime to this day. And because of that, when people heard of a live action adaptation, the reaction could be boiled down to simply,
Oh shit. Here we go again.
the live action was announced to be done by Netflix, who are responsible for the Death Note and Cowboy Bebop adaptations, which I'd say turned out pretty well. Every time a live action adaptation is announced, people just roll their eyes and dismiss it, not even going to give it a chance. I talked a bit about live action adaptations in my Psalm 100 review, but to boil it down, I thought the movie was good and was a lot of fun, even though they changed some of the stuff from the manga. But of course, this is One Piece, a show that is beloved by so many people, a show that is so ridiculous, a show with fish people, talking animals, and Luffy. There was no way a show like this is going to work in live action. The mood for the live action completely changed when the trailers dropped. I mean, yeah, there is skepticism, of course. Sure, it looks like they're trying their best, the trailers do look good, but I mean, if other adaptations didn't work, how on earth is One Piece of all things going to work? See, that's the thing. All those other adaptations didn't have Oda involved. Oda's involvement with the One Piece live action has been very well documented. Netflix agreed that they wouldn't go out with the show until I agreed I was satisfied. I read the script, gave notes, and acted as a guard dog to ensure the material was being adapted in the correct way. This is the same company that butchered the Witcher series because the writers and people in the show, other than Henry Cavill, didn't care about The Witcher, didn't care about the source material. One Piece is being done by people who love and appreciate the source material. This goes a long way towards creating a good adaptation of any material, and no doubt played a large part in how the show ended up turning out. Now that it's out, was all that work worth it? They had the challenge of not only writing and compressing roughly 100 chapters into just 8 episodes, they also had to make it good and easily accessible enough for people who are unfamiliar with the manga and anime to watch. One example was the Barati arc. The Barati arc is credited by some to be when One Piece starts getting good. The live action was able to cut this arc into focusing only some of the key moments. Zoro's fight with Mihawk, Sanji's backstory, and the Barati, these were the moments that their live action focused on, and they cut out all the parts that were unnecessary. Sure, this impacted characters like Sanji, who was good, but suffered because we didn't really spend as much time with him as we did compared to the manga and the anime. However, it was a necessary sacrifice that ended up being good for the live action as a whole. Some of the stuff in the live action, I actually preferred some of the arcs in the live action compared to the manga, which just goes to show that the live action did a really good job at making the arcs in the manga fit the narrative of the live action. The live action not only changed the arcs, they changed the story a bit as well. The most notable one is that we spent a good chunk of the series with Garp and Kobe. Now, I'm not complaining, Garp is my favorite character in One Piece, and while his live action counterpart isn't a one-to-one replica from the manga, which some might not like, I still thought he was a good character and I had a lot of fun watching him. I thought the whole Kobe and Garp parts were a great addition because it's a relationship that wasn't even explored in the manga. So it was great to see a glimpse of what might have been their interactions behind the scenes in the manga being told, albeit in a slightly different format. Alright, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the fishman, and more specifically, Arlong. You know that meme, the manga, anime, and Netflix adaptation? Yeah, that's basically what happened to the fishman. Being honest, the fishmen look pretty decent. They use cosmetics instead of CGI, and considering even big budget movies nowadays are using CGI for masks, props for them for doing that. Get it? Props? Yeah, because they use props? Okay. But with Arlong though, man, they tried. Arlong's depiction was fine. His performance was fine. He's not the best, it's not the worst, but this is not the Arlong from the manga. I'm sorry. The Arlong from the manga and the anime is this big, strong, intimidating dude. The first big villain for the Straw Hats. And then you look at the live action version. Yeah, dude just looks like someone from Comic Con. It just didn't work. But this is the price of making a live action adaptation. They obviously had to cut some corners and have to do the best that they could, which they ended up doing. Oh god, I'm having nightmares just imagining how they're going to do Fishman Island. So after watching the live action, I can honestly say it exceeded my expectations. Sure, they were pretty low to begin with, but it still exceeded it. It's not going to satisfy everyone, obviously, and there will be people out there that are going to hate it simply for being a live action adaptation. But as I mentioned this in my other video, go into this with an open mind. Keep in mind of the challenges that they had to face in order to make this work. And when you look at the final product, they did a good job, all things considered. I am unironically excited for a potential season 2 and really hope that other studios would treat this as a reference when trying to create a live action adaptation of a manga or anime. Because if a show as ridiculous and as out there as One Piece can be done, there's no reason that others can't be done as well. Anyway, guys, that's all I have to say for this video. Leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.